Rolling.
Roll. Autobots roll out.
God.
Do you remember that? Remember that? I used to do it every time.
Hey, remember that one
Early
time?
podcast. Remember that one time at band camp?
Ugh.
Welcome to the 5 After 5 on the Real Awkward Podcast. This is the best damn podcast you've heard. Today, my name is Andy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Ashley.
And we're killing it on the intro.
Third time's the charm.
Heart stars and clovers, horseshoes and blue moons, pots of gold or rainbows, and my red balloons.
Yes.
Me red balloon.
Oh my God.
Get it right.
That cereal sucks now. He said it wrong. Why does it taste so different?
You're not Irish at all.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Dude, Lucky's just like, he has to take the hat off. Hearts, stars, and clovers. Practicing his lines.
Stupid.
Guys, our 5 After 5. These are 5 heartfelt or thought-provoking questions that will last in your memories for a lifetime. But first, let's talk about some bullshit for 4 minutes. How do you guys feel about, the space race or whatever?
Let's talk about some bullshit for a minute. So, how you guys feel about life?
What's going on?
What was the average temperature this week?
Yeah. You guys sad that like newspapers aren't a thing anymore?
Yes. We've talked about this.
I know, but it still makes me sad.
I mean, a lot of things make me sad.
I mean, my mom still gets the newspaper.
Like, arguably, you don't really need it, though. Like,
no,
you
not
could,
at all.
I mean, I open up my phone and it could let me know what's going on.
You
right
open your
now.
phone?
It's just.
Isn't that what it's called? What's it called?
When everything's on your phone, it's also convoluted.
Everything is always on your phone.
I hate it.
We have instant access to information, and if you have not done we've talked about this before. Sorry, then you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes has a wonderful bit on why social media and or internet is not that awesome.
Yes.
And I encourage you to look it up.
I had a thought go through my head today. So,
first time for everything.
First time. It was really weird. It hurt a little bit. So currently, social media is guilty of like having this reputation of being terrible for us, ruining culture, ruining so many things.
Yep.
What do you think in the past decades has been that thing where like it's new technology, it's been introduced, it like culture runs away with it, but we know it's awful?
Ooh, that's a tight one because like the information age is so different with the internet.
Yeah.
Like that feels, I don't know, man. Like people never understand like information is power, but it really is, right? Like before you didn't know anything. You just hoped for the best, or you like read it in a little newspaper, or your friend told you last weekend about something that happened. But now you always have access to it. Feels so much more powerful than like, I don't know, like, what was there an upgrade after a bicycle or an upgrade after cars that changed us that much?
Processed food? I don't know.
I mean, that's probably a bad one for us. I was
was
actually talking to my friend about that recently, that like we are so used to getting things easy now.
Yeah.
And that nothing is like raw, right? Like we're not leading like healthy diets anymore, and obesity is just skyrocketed up. So maybe that is probably the worst thing, was McDonald's, like the advent of like fast food.
I mean, not even fast food. When you say processed food, it's like anything that you buy out of a can or a jar.
Well, anything from like preservatives to forever chemicals, or like that stuff that just, that might be there from a health standpoint, but like mental standpoint, which is social media you described, I don't know if something's equivalent.
But gut health is brain health.
That's okay. You're not wrong. She's not wrong, Amanda.
Sure.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say, like, I guess it sort of ties into processed food a little bit, but I think I would just say diet / the American culture of constantly having to hustle and grind and whatever. And same thing with diet culture, right? Where it's like the ideal of it's whatever you're doing right now is not enough. Like,
Sure.
You're not thin enough, you're not pretty enough, you don't make enough money, whatever that is. Because everybody has a drive, right? Most people have drive. But like this sort of culture that we've created for ourselves where we're constantly having, it's the rat race.
Yeah.
That I think is horrible just for people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, social media exacerbates exactly that.
That's what I mean. Social media just makes it easier to see the race.
What was the was the 9 to 5 invented? Like in the 10s, 20s, 30s, was it 9 to 5 jobs or not that back then?
The 9 to 5 was created with the ideal that there would be one person working, making all the money, and then there would be one person at home working to handle the home.
Right. Because now that culture's changed so much that like you can't live that way anymore.
The 5-day work week is not sustainable.
Yeah.
It is not workable, and our culture has made it work, but it absolutely is not.
It feels like there's something missing there from that. I will say our work does 410s, and I imagine that feels like you have more time to get things done or take care of things. I can't tell you the drain on it working all day, right? Because 9 to 5 is different than frickin', 10 to 8 or whatever. So
I essentially I do 4 8s-ish. I do between 8 and 10 hour days. And I do it because I need 3 days off. Like I need it.
Yeah.
And especially working on my feet, like I have a physical job. So I need 3 fucking days. But also being a freaking parent trying to manage my household, I need 3 days because I need 1 day to, even though I don't get to just lounge around and do nothing all day, I need a day to like take care of the house. I need a day to run a bunch of errands. And then I need another day to finish what I didn't do the last 2 days. And then I got to do it all again.
Yeah. I always feel like the weekend's never enough time to get what you want done.
No, because
why, but it always feels that way.
We're trying to cram so much shit.
Yeah, we really are.
It's crazy.
But it goes to your point too, Amanda, where you said that we have this culture that nothing's ever enough.
Yes.
So even you doing something during the weekend to be productive in your brain doesn't feel like it was enough. You didn't do enough.
Because the list is never ending because so many things are evolving.
Correct. I don't know if there's a true like wake up in the morning, make yourself a bagel, sit down, enjoy your day, walk outside, look at your garden, and then you end the day having a nice little nap and you're like, that was very productive. All of a sudden you just feel guilty that you didn't do 100 things and you don't actually enjoy the life that we have that's so short as it is. So,
well, someone smart said that we're really good at preparing to live. We're not good at actually living.
Yeah.
How real is that, man? Woo. Getting real on the Real Awkward Podcast.
Andy, do you have some questions for us?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even 5 minutes of BS. We really got down to the root of it.
I'm sorry.
You guys, let's lighten this up. Why aren't all intersections a roundabout?
Legit.
Let's talk about this, okay? How many times have you guys came to a 4-way stop? I won't even talk about lights yet. How many times have you guys came to a 4-way stop and it's literally the Spider-Man meme all over again?
You go.
It's
no, you go. No, you go.
You. And it's it's either two things. Someone's an asshole and takes your turn, or someone's too nice and you both stare at each other for 5 full minutes until somebody goes.
We either need.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know the rule is whoever's on the right.
That is exactly.
But nobody knows that. But also, I think there either needs to be roundabouts or there needs to be proximity lights that'll be where it's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And it's just looking at it, who's first. And it's just
supposed to go? Yeah.
That is, no, it's so stupid. And especially around here, there's so many 4-way stops. And
I remember there being a lot in Washington.
Yeah. They're making a lot of them into roundabouts, but then you got to wait until it's a roundabout. But then people don't know how to drive through a fucking roundabout.
That's the problem right now. Roundabouts, I think, are fantastic when people know how to yield and when to go in.
Yeah.
Because so many people are like, is it my turn now? Oh, I'm scared. I don't know. And
Well,
they
so
don't know
'cause
how to
you're
watch people
having
coming.
to
Yeah.
anticipate, is someone going to exit
Yeah.
the roundabout or are they going to keep going?
But
Yeah.
people are also, with a roundabout, you're not supposed to zoom through it. You're supposed to
Yeah.
be cautious, but go around it. But then traffic never stops is what a roundabout is supposed to be. But I will say, so do you guys know the answer to this? A police officer, an ambulance, and a mailman all come to the intersection at the exact same time. Do you know who's supposed to go first? Hang tight. It's time for a real awkward break.
What's up, Cinephiles? I'm Nicholas Ibarra,
And I'm Bella of Stratus.
and we want to tell you about the Gimme 3 podcast, a series for cinephiles, a show in which we pick 3 films based on one theme.
That's right, 3 films, 1 theme, like Gimme 3 movie musicals,
Gimme 3 Michelle Pfeiffer films,
Gimme 3 Pixar films.
Gimme 3 reasons why you shouldn't listen to our show. That's not an episode, that's just a legitimate question.
The Gimme 3 podcast is not just about expanding your watch list, it's about saving you precious time when you're endlessly scrolling through your streaming apps. So take 3 seconds and subscribe to the Gimme 3 podcast, a series for cinephiles.
Do any of them have sirens on?
Yes, they all have sirens on.
I
Well,
would
false,
assume
because
the
a police,
ambulance.
because a mail carrier doesn't have sirens. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, a
Uh,
mail carrier is a federal employee.
Correct.
So does that play into it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because assuming that you're not supposed to, like, if it's somebody in the ambulance and they're dying, like, that should be the priority, but no
Yeah.
one would know that. A cop is not going to stop, right? They would just go through, just like an ambulance on that. But yes, the only person arguably on duty at that entire time would be the man, which is crazy. It's crazy. But I will say that has nothing to do with roundabouts. I just think, like, here we deal with it a lot. Like, people come, and I don't know how people get their effing license in the first place, but like in an intersection, when you are taking a left-hand turn and when you are turning, you're turning into a 2-lane road, you are supposed to stay on that left lane. You are not supposed to cross into the right lane to get over early, because if you did that and someone was taking a right turn, that's a free right and that road is for them and you ran into them, your fault.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why you never take that free right, because you cannot trust that someone's actually going to go into the lane they're supposed to.
When they're taking that left-hand turn and you do it, they honk at you. They're like, hey, I was getting in that lane. It's like, that's not how this works, buddy. You stay in your lane. You stay in your lane. You stay in your lane. I will just say, though, that intersections, whatever, whether it's lights or stop signs, I think we should go roundabout, and there should be a new training in driver's education for how that works.
Well,
'Cause I don't
I
think
mean,
they talk about
emphasis.
to
Yeah.
piggyback
Correct.
on that, I think
Yeah.
that we should have to recertify our driver's licenses every so many years.
You mean
I
like
do
literally
not
go
think-
take another course?
Written
I-
test, I think.
Or
Ooh.
something. I do
Yeah.
not think that you should get your driver's license at 16 years old and then never have to retest.
I can see that.
Like,
100% see
even
that.
even
Yeah.
every 10 years, you just have to verify I know the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because
Fair.
there are people of every age bracket that do not know what the fuck they are doing.
Oh well,
Mhm.
somehow they get it. Also, apparently South Carolina is weirder. You get they don't call it a permit, they call it like a trainer's license or something like that, where you can drive on your own without being certified yet, just can't do it at night.
Oh.
Yes, so you don't have to have someone
Interesting.
with you, but it's not a full license yet. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. That's crazy." All right.
Weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What would your profession be if you lived in the Middle Ages?
Like the one where everybody's last name is what they do.
Yeah. What would you be? Like, how would you contribute to that village, Ash?
I wouldn't, because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we, let's roll it back. Okay. Let's take away the sexism. Okay.
There's not sexism. That's just the culture back
Okay.
then.
Let's take away.
Yes, we
let's
would
take
be housewives.
That's not true.
Making babies
You
and
could be
baking bread.
You could be a
I
baker.
I could get lucky
You
and be a
could-
spinster.
Okay. Should I reword it?
No, so Andy,
We're-
here's the
all
deal.
three of us are men. Okay.
Here's the deal.
What
Andy
you
and
guys-
I are
yeah.
fat and pale, so we would be nobility.
Yeah, we would be rich as fuck.
But realistically speaking, with the tools that I have, I would either be probably a barber, but I would assume I would be something. I would probably make clothes,
Okay, so I got seamstress.
or something, or I
She's
would
a
love-
man.
I
Why
would
would she be a seamstress?
If I was a man, I would 100% be a blacksmith.
Okay, so you'd be making weapons.
Hell
Is that
yeah.
what you'd want to do? Is that what you'd want to do?
I think so. Like that sounds
Okay.
cool.
Okay, I like that.
I'd be a cooper.
What's that?
They make barrels.
You just want to make barrels?
Why
Is
not?
that what you are?
Because why not?
Go down
Why
to
not?
Ashley Cooper down there.
I don't know how to do it. They did it. They seemed important at the time.
I mean, but think about
Barrels is a
it.
big thing around here.
That was probably how they stored a lot of stuff back in the
well,
day.
how you stored
Gunpowder,
your wine,
food.
yeah, exactly.
think about
Everything
how-
was in barrels.
Think about how popular the last name Cooper actually is. So
Yeah,
there were
you're not
lots
wrong.
of
Yeah.
Coopers.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So is that what you really would want to
Yep,
do,
Cooper,
though? You want to
Cooper.
make barrels?
Send me the cooperage.
Okay, well done.
What about you, Andy?
I think I'd probably be the jester for the king's court.
That's fair.
I think I'd probably be like,
You'd-
"Boop-a-doop-boop-a-dee-poo." I don't know, dude. I think I'd be like, "Hello, sire. Like, what can I do for you?" I
Fair
could
enough.
imagine myself like berries and cream, berries and cream. I think I would
It's my
literally that
birthday
guy.
today.
Fuck that. Yeah, dude, I imagine being silly, but then I also think I could have been like a ward or something. Like I'll help the knight with his sword and shield and hope I could be a knight one day and then never really make it. Maybe.
Fair enough.
I imagine that's the case.
A squire.
Yeah, squire. Freaking little boy. I don't know, man.
Either way, you're wearing tights.
Yeah, I probably would have to.
That's
be
the
stuck
real
in the
answer.
tight stuff. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I'd be unhelpful in the Middle Ages. dude.
Typical man.
I'd be like Sam from Game of Thrones, where he didn't really do anything, and then that one time
Oh, Sam.
I can protect somebody like once, but then that's it. And then they'd be like, he's done. Part of the Night's Watch, and they're like,
Send him
"Yeah,
to the
you're
library,
fine."
whatever.
Yeah, probably. They probably would make me just like clean the pigs or something. I'd be like down in the trenches. I don't think I would. So I'd rather take the jester. If I can at least like live in the castle with the king, just to be the funny man, that's fine. That's fine for me. All right, so ladies, this one is you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm saying this seriously. This is not a joke. Okay, why can't ladies show their boobies in public, but men can? Like legitimately. Like,
Do you want
think
a
about
real
this.
do you want a real answer on that?
Yes, I want the real
Okay.
answer, and I have a feeling it's very much politically driven or culturally driven.
I
but
don't think it is.
Okay,
in
okay,
my
do tell.
opinion,
Do
in my
tell.
opinion, women are not seen as equal.
Okay,
And so
okay.
our bodies are seen as I'm trying to say this and not be vulgar.
No. Be as vulgar as you want. It's the Real Awkward Podcast.
Our bodies are either seen by other women as ways to feed our children, but they are seen by men as sexual objects. And
I think you're right, but is that? I'll let you continue, and then I'll speak to
a
it.
man can wear an open, like a man can wear no shirt in public
Yeah.
and it's manly or whatever. A woman wears a shirt in public and it's seen as obscene or like she's seen as, trashy or whatever, because her body can't just be for her and what she wants to do with it. It has to be for other people.
Interesting.
Why don't you let your balls hang out?
I mean, I've been told I'm not allowed to. I guess, right? Growing up,
Yeah.
I mean,
is
why
that
don't
why?
why doesn't male underwear just cup the penis and then
And let the balls
let
hang
the balls
free?
hang free?
I don't know.
What's wrong with showing balls?
I don't know. I'm that's like I said, it sounds silly, but it's a legitimate question. Like, I don't understand.
So here's the question then.
Why
Why would you not want to?
would
As a
woman
man, as
or
a man,
Yeah.
why would you not want your balls exposed?
Because they're sensitive. Protection. Is that
Women's breasts are also sensitive.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. But do you think that's why they initially started covering them up though? Or do you think that was
No.
way more like either
No.
religious or
Modesty.
culturally?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
'cause
what
think
makes
about-
it modest? Like, why are my nipples like different than
because
your nipples? Because yours give life.
because men get to make choices about their own body, but men also get to make choices about women's bodies.
Yeah.
Men-
See, so why? Not saying that I agree, right? I'm 100% for a woman making her own choice for whatever reason, but why did men make that decision then?
I don't know. I think that like it probably goes back to like how women need to be chaste and how women need to be more modest. Because like way back in the day, if a woman showed her ankle, it was scandalous, right? And
Yeah.
it was women were supposed to be pure and women were supposed to be all this stuff, but a guy could do whatever he wanted. So I think that that's what it comes down to. I think that also as our culture, like what's the worst thing you could call a man? A little girl, a weak girl.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
there is no equivalent. Like so like I think that as a culture, women are seen differently, and I think that it still goes back to, and this is a longer conversation for a different day that we're whatever, but women don't get to make decisions about their bodies. And
yeah, I think that's tough because I'm not saying I know that it was a decision. I'm trying to figure out why it was a decision. Like, why are breasts considered taboo? Maybe that's my question.
I wonder if it comes down to it's just not seen as being modest, and because like religion and stuff, it's all about like virginity and all
Well, that's what
stuff.
I'm wondering is like
Well-
initially, like in the Bible, right? You were to cover yourself up from
Yeah.
your privates, right? And I think depictions of that in the Renaissance era or whatever, women freely have their breasts out all the time in sculptures and in paintings and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there
And
there wasn't that level of modesty that Amanda's talking about. And
Yeah.
I think that men biologically choose women based on how well they can bear a child, right?
Sure.
They like the wider hips because
Sure.
they can bear a child.
Yeah.
And more voluptuous breasts appear to be more substantial for feeding a child.
So, like fertile.
Yes.
Yeah,
So they're more
fertility.
fertile.
Yeah.
So men are attracted to that, and it becomes a sexual thing.
So then is it more to stop coveting thy neighbor's wife or whatever
Yes,
that
basically.
might be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I feel like it probably stems from. So then my question is,
I don't think it's much different from like girls can't wear mini skirts to school because boys will sexualize them.
which
Yeah.
is 100% teach your boys to be gentlemen and let the women wear what they want.
Exactly.
Instead of the other way around.
Exactly.
Now, the real question is, if let's say all of the taboo-ness, the modesty was thrown out the window and we were equal, would either of you walk around with your shirt off just because you can?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Why?
not.
I already answered that for you.
Because sensitive nipples.
I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't. And
So-
honestly, it might just be because I've lived 38 years of covering
Sure,
them up that
right.
I'm like, this doesn't feel comfortable
Right,
or right.
right.
Yes.
Well,
let me
the
let me
reason-
tell you
no, go
something,
ahead.
Andy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about boobs. Everybody's are different. Some people's naturally sit close to their body.
Yeah.
Some people's have gravity affected to them. So
Yes, I
people
get
like
you.
me that are victims of said gravity, I don't want to feel my boobs flapping all over the place. Okay.
Right. So for you, it'd be more of a comfort thing
well,
than
and
it
let me
would
be clear.
being embarrassed about
Let me be clear.
showing your breasts.
Bras are uncomfortable.
Sure.
Sports
yeah.
bra, underwire, whatever. They're uncomfortable. Imagine having to wear something that lifts and separates your balls all day long and has a piece of metal wire in there for support.
Absolutely
okay?
Not. Absolutely not.
But
Absolutely
we're
not.
expected to do that to have our bodies be more aesthetically pleasing and to look more put together, right? But also, part of the reason I do it is because when I don't wear a bra, it's uncomfortable.
Right. So it's more comfortable to you to be
it's-
supportive. Yeah.
It's both are uncomfortable. Wearing a bra is slightly less uncomfortable than not wearing one.
And as somebody who is not in Amanda's position, I find bras to be more comfortable than not a bra.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I don't like feeling exposed.
Sure. I got you. Like nipping out in the shirt type of deal.
Oh, I don't want that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Even if I had
Yeah.
cute little boobs that would be something that where my nipples would be, I would still wear like 2 or 3 t-shirts because I would be like, oh, absolutely not. Like,
But also, I don't need support. So, like, for me, like an underwire, whatever, like, I don't feel any of it. It's not uncomfortable at all. I wear bras for padding.
So here's another thing, okay?
oh, you do? Okay.
We're walking through the mall, okay? Put yourself in this, okay? You, me, Ash, Amanda. We have all of our kids with us. A woman walks past us with no shirt on. Are you covering your kids' eyes?
No.
No.
Are you explaining why they don't have a shirt on to them, or are you just walking past?
If
If
he
they
asked,
asked, I would explain.
But essentially, if that was the new world where a man or a lady could be on the beach and just walk around that way, are you cool with that?
yeah.
Or does it still weird you out?
If
It would be weird only because it's not common.
Sure.
But
So basically, it's like, yes, it's like opening up from it being taboo.
if we went from right
Yeah.
now to now
Right.
everybody agrees it's cool now, like
Right.
there would be that transitional period of like, whoa.
Because
But,
if I'm not
if-
wrong, if a woman does it, that would be considered the same thing as a man, like
Indecent
flashing
exposure.
himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Interesting.
so, I mean, personally, to me, I don't care.
Yeah.
If there was a person walking around and had no shirt on, and I feel like it only becomes an issue if we make it an issue.
Yeah.
Sure.
So-
sure.
If it's just like and I'd be like, you can have your shirt off outside, right? Yeah, okay, she can too. Like,
I will say, as a man and finding breasts attractive, I think you guys are very correct that if a woman now, from it being taboo, was now completely bare-breasted walking around, you would have a lot of men oogle.
Oh,
Like you would
100%.
it would be a lot. And I think like catcalling, I think commenting and all that type of stuff. So like the transition to make that normal, I think would be
It's not. I don't think
crazy.
it's worth it to
no.
for what a woman would take for that.
Well, I
Can
mean,
we say then that you ladies are brave and awesome then for having to put up with us men's choices back in the day?
honestly,
and this
like
always being a thing.
the thing that makes me sad the most is like, I would never go bare chested in public simply because I'm not confident enough in my top half of my body.
Sure,
But-
sure.
I feel horrible for the women who like are just trying to feed their babies
Oh,
and then get
100%.
get shamed.
harassed.
The nursing stuff to me is absolutely crazy.
I
Like,
think it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is wrong. It's also, though, a product of there not being proper education to these men or other women about how natural like that is. Like there's
Well-
like this, like, how dare you? That's so indecent. And I'm like, no, I'm literally feeding my child.
Like my body grew this human and now
Right.
my body is feeding this human. But those are
Yeah.
also the same parents who are going to judge you if you formula feed. So
Oh, 100%.
there's
yeah.
no
So, like,
winning in those
fuck 'em.
scenarios.
All right.
But I just think like that weird part of our culture
yeah.
is so beyond. Like
I
that's
mean, there's
so
literally
stupid.
in airports, there's like nursing rooms, right?
Yeah.
For women that feel like they can't do it wherever they want to.
Yep.
But
yeah.
I appreciate you ladies entertaining the question. Like it was a legitimate question that I think it's stupid that we have this unwritten, well, it's written now, but this rule that like the top half of women are considered more taboo than men, essentially due to feeding, but they are different. It's not the same. Granted, you do have a big fat guy that does have tits, but like he's still allowed to walk around. They might not look that different.
I don't think anyone's sexualizing him.
Sad for him. Sad, dude. He needs love too.
Yeah, but not for the tits.
No tit love for the fatties. Got it, Ash. All right, here we go. Okay, away from boobies. I know what my thumbnail is for this one.
Great.
Why
God.
don't we have more than 26 letters in the alphabet when I can say words like
That's not a word.
I know, or sounds. Like, think about this. How did they choose to make only 26 letters in the alphabet when we have so many other noises or things that we might need to write down or communicate?
Well, I mean, it's just the English alphabet that has 26 letters.
Correct. Correct. Like, I think in France they have something for like,
Well,
right?
like Spanish has multiple. They have more. And
yes.
and then you think about like a kanji, which I get isn't really an alphabet.
Yeah.
But
like a symbol
they have
for
like
a tree.
a symbol for a whole word.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of the however many people decided on the English alphabet were like, no, 26 is good.
Well,
Like,
I just think it's strange. Like, and then to my point, can you come up with another sound that you could deem a letter? Probably not. If you run through all of the letters, is there any sound you make that you could be like, oh, maybe that needs its own letter?
Well, like you mentioned, like in other languages, they have other letters, right? So like you said, like French, like they have mostly just accents that like you put on certain letters
Right.
that would change how it sounds. But they also have one where it's like, if you look at it visually, it's an O and an E squished together.
Right.
And it's basically like, ugh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, but even that is like not its own letter. It's
Yeah.
two letters squished together to
Yeah.
make the symbol that makes that sound. So
Sure.
it's not really adding letters to the alphabet.
Right.
it's just simplifying it. Like that's what I was gonna say. Is the only thing I think I would maybe add is like if you wanted to create a new letter, I guess, to be
Yeah.
like a CH together or like a TH, but then at the same time it's just a T and an H together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would say like that doesn't have a letter, and it could be okay if it had a letter, right?
Sure, but like she said, it's simplifying it. You don't need it
Yeah.
because you can just put two letters together to make that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
yeah.
I think English is a very difficult language to question because it's an amalgamation of so many other
Of
languages.
years of
Yeah.
That it's like, why do we have these rules? Why don't we have these
Right,
rules? It's like
right.
because you can't. Like nothing applies to everything.
and it's always broken.
yeah.
In Japan, to Amanda's point of kanji, there's also the letter tsu. Like it's TSU, if I'm not mistaken, is how it like the English language can put it.
Yeah.
But it's not a T, it's a tsu. And like we don't say anything like that in the English language. Like that's not one, but they have one for theirs. So I just found it really interesting that we were able to like dumb down 26 letters to basically pronounce
To make every
everything.
sound.
That's
Well,
wild
I mean,
to me.
That's
so.
America.
America. We're
Fuck
simple.
yeah.
I got last one, and this is probably the biggest question that I've ever had needed answered. Okay, why did Nickelback? Like what
That's
did they
the question.
do to deserve?
That's the question. Why did Nickelback?
Why did Nickelback?
Why did Nickelback? What did they do to deserve such hate, ladies? Come on. Like let's be honest, right? What did Nickelback do to make them be the world's most hated band?
Here's the thing. I think we can all agree, especially people our age, right? We all loved Nickelback.
Oh, dude,
Everybody
there was
loved
some banger
Nickelback.
Nickelback songs when I
the
was younger.
chokehold they had on the early to mid 2000s.
Dude, Ash is frantically looking up Nickelback.
Like, I truly think they were the victim of, they came in right at this time when this kind of like singable rock kind of thing was really popular, but then they didn't grow with the changing of the music. They just kind of
Sure.
stayed right there, which is okay.
Right.
But they were like this perfect storm of really corny looking dudes. And
I mean,
they
is
thought,
that sustainable?
I don't know.
is that Chad
dude.
Kroger?
Is that a sustainable rock star?
I
Yeah,
will tell
like-
you right now, that's my opinion of why.
they
it's 100% their front man.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
was too easy to make fun of.
I think
Yeah.
he looks like a cartoon character.
yeah.
And I don't know how you're able to take them seriously because their music overall was not bad. But then when you saw who was singing it, you would just laugh.
He looks like a pirate Jesus.
Like, dude, yes.
It doesn't work. And
Here's the windblown look.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, he did this thing where I remember he cut his hair.
Yeah.
And it was like, the new look of Nickelback. And you're like, oh, that made it worse.
Yeah, you still have a goatee.
Like,
it's worse. Wasn't he the one dating Avril Lavigne for a while?
I think they got married.
That's
Yeah,
crazy, dude. I don't understand that. I don't think it's a theory. I think a majority of people don't like the way his face looks. I think that's what the problem is. On
How
Nickelback.
horrible. Hey, what
And
happened?
feel-
Hey, why does everybody hate your band so much? It's just my face.
Dude, legitimately, I think that's what it is. And that's such a testament to how shitty we are as a society that we've decided this band is the worst band of all time.
He should have gone the way of Sia.
Oh, dude, just cover it up, man.
Or
Start-
Bill Peck.
Gorillas.
Yes.
Just wear a marshmallow on his head.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, and that's the thing is like, when you think about like the early 2000s, like Nickelback gave us some bangers, especially the fucking Spider-Man song. Like that
him
song
and
is
Josie
a
Scott.
banger.
I will say Josie Scott's just as ugly too, and Saliva
But
didn't last
it's
as
that
long. But yeah,
it's that weird. I don't
Yep.
even know what you'd call that genre,
yeah.
but like singable
know.
rock and roll. I don't know.
It was almost like pop rock, but
It's
not
pop rock.
Yeah,
contemporary rock or something.
Yeah, I don't know,
It's-
man. Josie Scott
yeah.
wore like a dog
Adult
collar
hits.
and like
Yeah,
I-
easy
oof.
listening rock.
That's
Yeah,
so-
like that.
I
that
wouldn't put either
genre
of them
was
in the
popular.
soft rock category, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Adult alternative.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe,
yeah.
So I guess at the end of the day, I'm just saying I feel bad for Nickelback just because their frontman literally, you're right. The best way to describe it is he looks like cartoon Jesus, dude.
But I mean, are you listening to him?
I mean, honestly, at work, we've got it like rotating sometimes on some songs. And I'm like, okay, that's right. Nickelback was still okay. Like Silver Side Up, I think was their first album. And I remember that album being incredible. And then like ever since then, they had like all these chart hits, but then everyone's like, it's so shit. And I'm like, why are they making so much money then? So is everyone like a closet Nickelback fan?
Oh no,
But
they
then,
still have like their followers.
Yeah.
So my boss loves Nickelback, and whenever we have to be in the salon, we all agree like that we're gonna put music on, and then Susan will be like, nope, and then she'll go into her purse and pull out a CD, and we're like, no,
It's always
and it's Nickelback, and it's just like, no, but she also listens to like Godsmack and Disturbed and shit like that, and you're just like,
that's very
no.
much that genre. That's awesome.
It's just like,
Awesome.
oh my god.
Well,
yeah, it's
cool. Well, I appreciate you guys entertaining boobies to Nickelback today on the podcast.
Interesting array
Sure.
of questions.
Yeah. So, Amanda, where can people holler at us?
Come check out our Instagram at Roll Awkward Podcast. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Roll Awkward Podcast. $3 a month gets you exclusive episodes. We also have a TikTok at Roll Awkward Podcast. Sure.
It's over, dude.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Real Awkward Podcast. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Real Awkward listeners. The Real Awkward Podcast turns 3 this year. That's right, 3 years of fun, entertaining content for you guys, and we cannot do it without listeners like you. If you guys want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Real Awkward Podcast. For $3 a month, that gets you access to exclusive shows, merchandise, and name shoutouts on the show. We also will take your suggestions for show topics. Thank you so much for 3 years, and we look forward to many more.